Welcome to the Velvet Room. This place exists between dream and reality, mind and
Trauerminute
matter.
für Helmut Kohl.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
Helmut Kohl ist gestorben. Oh.
The persona ability is the power to control one's own heart.
Nicht
And the heart
mitbekommen.
is strengthened through bonds. As you form bonds by becoming involved with others, your own social links will gradually develop.
Können
The
wir?
power of these social links is what will determine your persona's abilities.
Können wir machen. Nach dem Spiel können wir mal kurz eine Minute Ruhe machen. Ist
I
kein
wish you
Problem.
good luck.
Gar nicht mitbekommen. Mensch. Okay, also wir waren hier bei Labris. Schauen wir mal, wie es weitergeht. Im Moment ist sie ja noch bei dem komischen Zeug, wo sie gegen andere von ihrer Sorte kämpfen soll und ja. Just as the combat tests are repeated, my actions outside each night are repeated as well. I become aware that I am seeking out 0 to 4 of my own will lately. When I attempt to communicate with other units, most often they cannot understand the meaning of my questions. This prevents us from conversing. But that may not be the only reason. I want to converse with 0 to 4. I have begun to desire it. When I go to see 0 to 4, the white dog I saw on the first day we met appears from somewhere.
This one seems to have been raised as a pet somewhere far away from here. But one day, it was brought to the forest near here and its owner suddenly disappeared.
It seems unlikely that 0 to 4 obtained such a detailed history of a stray animal from the research staff. Was all this information obtained by communicating directly with the animal? From a dog that does not speak human language?
Its name is apparently Snowy. At least, that's the name it responds to the most.
I thought it was a dog.
Oh, well, the name of this animal is a dog. But how do I put this? Snowy is what this specific dog is called.
Snowy.
Snowy barks once as if comprehending its name.
It's white, like snow. Easy to remember.
When I reach out my hand, Snowy rubs its nose against it without being frightened. The way it presses at my fingers feels as if it is showing pride in its name. I do not know the tactical advantage that communicating with animals offers to a weapon, but I feel that there is value in spending time with it. I decided to spend my outdoor activity time that day following Snowy around with 0 to 4. It is outdoor activity time on the next night. When I arrive in the outdoor area, I'm listening to a certain sound. I hear this sound immediately every 4 to 7 seconds. I had wondered about the unknown ambient sound since the first day, but I determined that it wasn't a threat and focused my consciousness on other things. Hallo Raphael. Tonight I increase my microphone sensitivity to maximum and concentrate on that sound. It is similar to something familiar. I scan my memories until I realize what it is. It is the sound of water. I hear it when the staff uses a device to clean their hands at tools. The waveform has some similarities to that. But if the sound is at this volume in such an open space, the volume of water must be higher than normal supply would allow for. What could it be? I contemplate asking 0 to 4. It is clear that 0 to 4 knows much more than I do. I begin walking in search of 0 to 4. Where could 0 to 4 be? I go to where we spoke a number of times previously, but 0 to 4 is not there. 0 to 4 is also not at the rock where we sat together. Is 024 not here? I quickly discarded the possibility. We are not ordered what to do while we are here, but coming to this outdoor area is an order. If post-testing diagnostics show no abnormalities, we are all to report directly here. I consider this. If there are no abnormalities, I feel a twinge in my chest. It is larger than ever. 024 will be here if there are no abnormalities. But what if there were such abnormalities? What if 024 was damaged during the combat tests? And sustaining damage is not necessarily the extent of the problem. Could it be? I realize that my arms are trembling slightly. Bist wieder da, Ritos. Wunderbar. It is not a conscious movement. I cannot make it stop. It is possible that perhaps 024 lost in a combat test and was destroyed. In these circumstances, it would be expected for such a day to come. What if 024? What if she never came here again? Uh-oh.
Oh, this is where you went.
Ah.
You weren't at the usual spot, so I was looking for you.
Da ist sie. Until I hear the voice from behind me, my senses had stopped accepting input. No sound, no light, nothing. All of them come back online with her voice. Hast du was verpasst? Nix Wichtiges. Ja, nix Wichtiges. Nur Gelaber. I turn around. 024 furrows her brow and looks into my face.
What's wrong? The look on your face seemed as if you saw something frightening.
My face? My expression? Frightening? Am I scared?
And do not comprehend. I cannot make that judgment.
Are you perhaps scared of fighting?
Nah, I don't think that's it. What is this? I can't tell.
Am I scared? Scared of what? That she will disappear? During an operation, it is possible that I might assign greater priority to other units' safety than my own. But, what? Einfach 1, 2, 3, 4. Vielen Dank fürs Folgen. Greater priority to other units' safety than my own, but we are not on an operation now. And this emotion is not the same anyway. It's a different emotion. An emotion? I have emotions? I look to 024's face pleadingly, but I cannot put my question into words. I cannot express my feelings to her, and though 024 sees this, she says nothing. She only smiles tenderly. It's the same smile she showed once that looks happy, but also sad. During that night's outdoor activity time, neither 024 nor I speak much. We just walk together side by side without many words. I do not take the opportunity to ask her about the intermittent sound of water. Geht ein bisschen schleppend voran, Gott. Passiert nicht wirklich viel. It is the next day. I detect some sort of weight in my chest. I'm aware that there is no physical weight there. It is most likely a psychological phenomenon. I perform a vocabulary search. The idiom of being heavy-hearted applies best. I cannot help but find it amusing. It is a very apt phrase. But what is causing this heavy-heartedness? That I may not be able to see 024 someday. That may be it, but I do not think that is all. Over the next few days I spent my time without finding an answer to this question. Each night after the combat tests, when it is time for outdoor activities, I seek out 024 first. And each time I confirm her presence, I feel an indescribable sense of relief and rush over to her. We exchanged standard greetings in the first few days, but that practice was eventually discarded. Now there are no special greetings between us. We can understand each other without words. Our eyes and expressions communicate enough. Tonight as well, I find 024 and rush to her as usual. There are no words, only an exchange of smiles. We begin walking together.
Do you remember me asking before if you were scared of fighting?
I nod.
To tell the truth, I'm scared of it too.
Her confession is surprising. It is counter to our nature as weapons. Yet for some reason, I'm not surprised by it.
I'm afraid I'll lose and be destroyed, and it's painful for me to make others go through the same ordeal. We may be weapons, but shouldn't we be driven by more than seeking victory? I've been wondering that for a long time.
But that's against orders.
024 gives a half-hearted smile.
I'm sure things would probably be much simpler if I stopped thinking and just obeyed orders. Unfortunately, I finally found it. I found my answer.
Your answer?
There's someone I want to meet. I feel like meeting this person is my own objective and not an order given to me.
Since we have never left this facility, we have absolutely no acquaintances with outside people. There should be no relationship with such people. But I immediately understand. This person she wants to meet is someone on the outside. Even I don't know why I thought so. But when I reflect upon that thought, the indescribable wavering within me becomes greater than ever.
Ever since I started thinking that I was scared to fight, each day was painful for me. If I'm going to feel this way until the day I lose, I even thought it would be better if I lost on purpose. But I won't think that anymore. I feel glad now that I exist. I mean, we're loved after all.
Loved?
That's right.
I repeat that to myself. The word loved. I do not comprehend. But when I look at her gaze, her clear eyes seem to see beyond the sky. Her statement seems correct. I feel that this must be something vital. As I watch her try to express something without words, it is hard to believe she is the same unit type as me. It seems more that she is human.
Why are you telling me this?
It's probably because I didn't think anyone but you would understand.
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm not sure I really get it either.
I'm sure you'll understand one day. I hope so anyway.
Sheesh, why you gotta be so cryptic?
024 laughs at this. It is purest smile I have catalogued. I know without comparing it to anything that is a smile of pure joy. I detect Snowy playing at my feet. After playing at 024's feet too, Snowy runs off ahead about 3 meters and then turns around. Its tail moves vigorously back and forth. Soon afterwards, Snowy sits on the ground and looks up at 024. I watch 024 crouch and pat its head. I'm thinking back about other things. Things besides fighting and defeating the nearest enemy. My own objective. Someone to meet. I still do not fully comprehend, but the way she is playing with Snowy tonight looks more fun than ever. Her smile seems very natural. If the answer she discovered is the origin of that smile, I would like to understand it someday too. I can feel that desire budding inside me. Okay. Once again I participate in a combat test. Once again I claim victory without destroying my opponent. I target only her weapons and limbs. I elect not to employ the tactic of targeting the weakness in their cranial regions. I believe that if they think the same things as I do, they would not wish for their personality modules to cease functioning. Though even if I do not destroy them, the research staff will remove their plumes of dusk. Either way, their functions will be suspended. My actions are difficult to justify. But I feel that suspension through destruction is not a worthy end for them. That is what I think when I rationalize it by applying the criteria to myself. I do not think anyone would want their consciousness to be terminated by those like them. I find myself more conscious of the damage I sustain and my efficiency in combat than ever. Depending on my results, I may eventually be ordered to destroy them. To prevent that from happening, I must continue fielding favorable results. It becomes easy to continue fighting with that objective in mind. That is becoming my new objective. I am theoretically being tested on destroying my opponents, but I have begun fighting so that they will not be destroyed. Paradoxically, this has caused my results to improve. Could this be considered going against orders? My strike shatters the servos in the opponent's pivot leg. She falls to the ground, unable to stay upright. Her weapon has already been destroyed. She should be incapable of resisting now. But the buzzer signaling the end of the test does not sound. As I wonder why, I hear a grating metallic sound from the opponent. She leaps onto me with her one good arm and leg.
What's the matter, number 031? Hurry up and terminate the target.
I do not know what to do. My opponent is acting contrary to her own safety. I grant that this is the only action left to her, but she will destroy herself before inflicting any damage to me. A tactic that puts one's life at risk like that. Putting one's life at risk? What am I saying? We are weapons. We exist to obey orders. We cannot prioritize our self-preservation without a change in those orders. That is why she is challenging me to a fight. She will do so until all of her circuits and servos burn out and she becomes incapable of action. As she grapples with me, I put my hands to her neck and squeeze. I adjust my grip strength limiters to 70% of maximum. The opponent's body makes an abnormal sound. After this, I sense the main lines of the bridge unit snap in half inside the soft structure. Her movement stops. Her limbs go flaccid, indicating loss of consciousness. I can see my reflection in her optic inputs. They have lost their focus and look like black holes. I gasp. The face I see reflected in them is not expressionless. How should this expression be classified? I have seen it sometimes when 024 smiles. This face indicates sadness. The buzzer signaling the test's end finally rings. The researchers enter the chamber. I am used to this scene now.
Well, that was pretty impressive. You think it's because of the size of her plume? Funny that one little part could make such a difference.
Indeed. Most of it is due to differences in their tactical mentalities. It may be on the cusp of what we would call an ego.
Considering how everything's been going so far, I'm starting to believe more in persona abilities.
One little part. Is it true that the Plume of Dusk installed on me is comparatively the largest among units of my type? But does this part determine everything about us? 024's smile seems much more human than mine. I find myself opening my mouth to speak, but I realize that the statement I am about to deliver is a protest. I am quick to abort. Was I about to deny the staff's authority? They speak to me. My confusion seems to have gone unnoticed.
Well done, unit number 031. That was an impressive display of destruction. Plus, you cleanly severed its transmitter, leaving the Plume of Dusk unharmed. That's certainly ending things on a high note.
Ending things on a high note. An act of destruction is a high note. The researchers look at each other while holding the petri dish with the bluish-white plate-like object. One of them says, "This is the one."
All right, number 031. As of today, the test battles are finished.
Sehr schön.
Huh? It's over?
I cannot help but questioning the unexpected statement.
All the results indicate that you have the very highest performance out of all the units of your model.
Yay.
I'd say we can go ahead and earmark unit number 031 to be the base for developing the 5th generation.
The base?
It means that you're the winner.
The combat tests are over. Will I no longer be required to fight? A strangely intense sensation of relief fills me. It is not because I won and gained a reward. If the tests have ended, those of my unit type that are not yet destroyed can escape that fate. Interesting. It seems that I was reluctant to destroy them after all. My priorities have become inverted, yet I am so happy that I smile. The researchers noticed this expression as well and smile back.
Okay, we're going to begin the usual review of the feedback, so come over here.
Okay. Ich frag mich ja, wie viel Leszeug ist, bevor endlich mal wieder Gameplay kommt. When the download begins, the memories and thoughts of my recent opponent flow into me along with vivid images. Sifting through battle data has become a routine I had repeated so often that I am barely conscious of it now. I peruse the non-combat memories she preserved. It is the landscape of the outdoor area again. At first I could only vaguely recognize it, but now I can pinpoint exactly where this memory is from. It is near the biggest tree. The memory is of flowers. They are images of a small shoot, a budding plant, and a blossoming flower. She must have had an interest in the concepts of growing. For we machines, the growth of an individual is an unknown concept. But one of us took an interest where I had only seen it as part of the landscape. It seems that she, too, had her own thoughts unrelated to our orders and battle performance. She simply did not show it. I recall what 024 said. My own objective and not an order given to me. The twinge in my chest returns. I make sure to hold tight to your memories. This was the thought that formed in my mind. Okay. Once again, it is time to spend time outdoors. I quickly meet up with 024. It seems she was looking for me as well.
Hey, can I talk to you for a while? The lab boys told me today that they were putting the kibosh on the test battles.
Kibosh?
I see. It's over then.
Look, I've been thinking, if they end up tossing us out soon because of that, I want to go with you to go see that person you were talking about. The one you wanted to meet. I might even put in a formal request about it to the lab boys.
Lab boys? 024 takes my right hand. Before I can determine her intent, she pulls a cable from her wrist and connects it to a port in my own. She looks at my face in silence. Thinking that she wants to confirm that the tests are in fact over, I nod. But the data that transfers is from her to me. The packets that flow through the cable form a single, very small archive file.
If you are still safe when everything is over, open this file.
024 removes the cable, but keeps hold of my hand.
What do you mean, when everything is over? How come I can't look at it now?
If I had to answer, I would say because it wouldn't be fair.
Fair?
She smiles and does not answer. It is that same unsure expression. It is a smile, but there is sadness in it.
It would be wonderful if I could go with you to see her.
Her? So this person you're looking forward to meeting is a girl?
024 nods slowly.
But it's strange. Even though my wish may not come true, I still feel satisfied for some reason. How bizarre. It's a fervent wish of mine, too.
She looks towards the sky and smiles faintly. This time it contains more than sadness. There are too many emotions for me to pass or reflected in that one expression.
I believe in you. I can tell you this because I trust you. Maybe that's why I feel so at peace.
Huh?
Maybe this is what it is to feel alive.
Alive? It has happened again. I do not comprehend the meaning of the word, yet I feel a twinge inside. I look at the sky in an attempt to follow her gaze. There's nothing there to hint at her meaning, but I still wanted to get closer to her. She wishes for me to understand. I want to grant her wish. From then on, we spent our time looking up at the sky in silence. Eventually, the signal that time is up reaches our ears. That is when I noticed that the moon has appeared from behind the laboratory buildings. I see. I thought that the light emanating from the plumes of dusk reminded me of something. I now know what it is. It is very similar to the light from the moon in the night sky. Wieder eine Szene fertig, ohne Gameplay. The sun rises and the next day arrives. After coming out of standby, I'm ordered to enter the shock-resistant chamber once again. Aber warum? Wir sind noch fertig mit den Kämpfen. From what I'm told, it is for a different purpose than the combat tests. Okay. Soon afterwards, the three researchers who supervise the feedback downloads appear.
Sounds like it's decided. We'll discontinue use of the name Unit Number 031. Generation 5 Labris will be this unit's new name.
Labris.
That's your name. The official one's much longer. Generation 5 Anti-Shadow...
5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon Labris. How hard is that to remember?
Labris.
This designation by a name that is not a number. I never questioned being called 031. Until now, nothing about it seemed awkward. But I wonder why. I am happy now to have acquired a name. Even if my designation changes, it will not have a concrete effect on my abilities. But by discarding my number for a name, I feel as if I am no longer one of a series with minute variations. I'm a discrete individual. That may be why. I find myself smiling as a result.
From now on, the battles you fight will not be to test your performance. They'll be geared toward drawing out a persona. First, you will fight all the remaining units of your model type.
But
your objective is to destroy them. Every last one.
Das ist scheiße.
Huh?
I'm perplexed at the disconnect between their tone of voice and the specifics of the order. Fight against all remaining units of my model type. Destroy every last one of them.
The fear impulse and self-preservation instinct seem to be the key to activating a persona. This is the most effective method of inducing extreme mental stress.
Stress? Come on, you don't have to go this far.
Huh? Well, that's a first. None of them have ever protested like that. Well, at least that's a sign that its ego is developing.
You told me it was over. I thought I wouldn't have to do these things anymore.
You.
Ain't there some other way? If there is, please, let me do that instead. I don't want to fight him anymore.
The three researchers look at me with apparent surprise on their faces. Did my protest get through to them? I hope so, but...
That's a surprise. Such natural speech patterns. I hadn't thought its personality would develop this fast.
All the data's being recorded now. Let's compare them and look at which stages they improve at.
They smile while muttering to themselves. I am at a complete loss for words. They are not machines, but humans, and on top of that, they are creators. It is not possible that they do not understand me. Yet their current expression... Until now, I thought that they were understanding people who treated us as close to human. I was wrong. I am only an object to them. No matter what I say, They will see it only as a response to stimulus. Behind their gentle attitudes, we are nothing more than test subjects they hold no emotional attachment to. They do not focus on what I am saying. They are only interested in it as a reaction. The researchers ignore my stunned silence and hastily leave the chamber. Their figures are hidden behind the hedge. Soon, with a terrible low-pitched sound, the hedge on the other side begins to open, where the opponents come through. I will be forced to fight again today and in the days to come. I must continue to destroy my opponents each time. I cannot find the words I want to say. I slowly turn my head towards the hedge. But what I see there is what truly leaves me at a loss for words.
No.
The opponent emerging from the hedge is 024. Nein, ich hab's gewusst. Hallo Len. There's no smile or sadness on her face. She's quietly standing there, expressionless. 024 steps into the chamber while gazing at my face. The hedge slowly closes behind her.
No. Why?
Even I do not know who the question is addressed to. Why is she here? Because she was ordered. Do I have to fight her now? It is not quite sinking in yet, but in a sharp tone I have never heard from her before, she tells me what I must do.
Draw your weapon.
I can't.
If you don't fight, you'll lose. I will end up destroying you. Are you willing to accept that?
Why? Why are you saying this stuff?
024 ignores my question and reaches behind her back with her right hand. The multi-use weapon unit releases from her back. It becomes a great sword in her right hand. It is approximately 1.5 meters, as long as she is tall. Ist aber klein. It is also alarmingly wide and fitted with propulsion devices. It is difficult to process seeing the weapon pointed at me.
If you fear being destroyed, if you have a heart capable of fear, then there's no need to hesitate. That alone gives you the right to attack me with all your strength.
But doesn't the same go for you?
I could not help but plead. 024 does not answer, but it appears that a very small smile forms on her lips.
You said there was someone you wanted to meet. I can't fight you knowing that.
I turn and appeal to the researchers watching us from the other side of the glass wall.
Come on! Stop this! I don't want to fight anymore!
I press against the transparent wall and continuously strike it with my fist. Though my safety limiters are disabled, it must be coated with something. I cannot even scratch it. The researchers standing on the other side are completely expressionless. It is as if they are machines themselves. I beg and plead, but they do not respond. If only there wasn't this clear glass wall between us. I am so frustrated. Why? I then hear 024 speak up weakly behind me.
Only one of us can exit this chamber.
Huh?
They never told you, since you were strong enough, that battles never lasted very long. But that's the rule of this place. The only time the door leading beyond that transparent wall opens is when one of us is considered unable to fight.
Aha! So ist es ja dann auch im Fernseh, in der Fernseherwelt. Unsichtbare Wände und dürfen nur weitergehen, wenn einer von denen nicht mehr kämpfen kann.
From the start, this whole setup never took our feelings into account.
I can say nothing. I can see from her words what atrocious battles were forced upon her.
But talking like this is a waste of time. I can see I won't spur you into fighting with just words alone.
As soon as she finishes, 024 leaps into the air, swinging her sword at me. I quickly jump back and barely dodge the attack. Her sword slashes the space where I had been at a speed that could have killed. The tip grazes the chamber floor. Red sparks fly. She is serious. As it finally sinks in, I jump away to put distance between us.
I don't intend to meekly accept my destruction. I have my own goal, after all. Now, fight me.
I have no choice but to fight, but a thought crosses my mind. In terms of basic combat strength, mine is probably higher. Using my usual tactics, I should be able to destroy her weapon and disable enough of her servos to prevent her from attacking. 024's ego is without a doubt more highly developed than mine. It must be of value to the researchers. If I can render her incapable of acting, I may be able to avoid the order to destroy her when she is down. I decide to bet on that possibility. I shift my priorities and fight back with all my strength. I cannot do this empty-handed. I remove my own multifunction weapon from my bag and shape it into a battle axe. It pains me to do this, but it is the only way. I repel 024's persistent sword strikes and go for a counter-attack. I aim for the great sword's clasp with my battle axe. After a number of hits, it shatters. My next target is the transmission system for her shoulder and knee joints. In terms of output and movement itself, I detect various differences between us. Amongst those of my unit type, I awakened latest. Compared to 024, not only my personality module, but my limbs as well have been upgraded to the latest versions. It is only a matter of time. 024 loses virtually all offensive capabilities and falls to the floor. As I planned, 024 is mostly undamaged. 024 is mostly undamaged apart from her weapon and motor functions. I immediately turn towards the researchers behind their invisible wall and raise my voice.
Isn't this enough? She had that ego thing way before me. Destroying her won't do anyone any good. Come on, have a heart.
But hearing this, the researchers only laugh. Their faces are as joyous as when they see results that surpass their expectations. Why? What in this situation could cause such joy? 024's body, collapsed on the floor, suddenly begins to convulse. But it goes still for a few seconds, then although it should not be able to move, it drags itself up.
Huh? What the?
Unpleasant metallic sounds are coming from all over her body. It indicates that she is undergoing unreasonable stress. Still, no expression appears on 024's face. It is a cold, doll-like void. It is similar in appearance to a newly activated unit. I know as soon as I look at her, she would never make a face like this on her own.
What did you do to her?
It'll be coming at you with everything it has now. You better not hold back either. Number 024 had an excellent record against others of its model. Even you might have a hard time beating this one, Labrys.
I unconsciously fight myself, biting my lip. We are weapons. In other words, we are tools. Bis zu Hause. Wunderbar. Of course, there would be a means to issue orders remotely. I recall what the one researcher said. This is the most effective method of inducing extreme mental stress. In other words, the more strongly I desire 024's survival, the stronger my reaction will be when forced to destroy her. That is why they laughed. I can sense the strength draining from my shoulders. There's nothing more I can attempt. All I can do is at her. Huh? Behind me, 024, or rather her animated shell, approaches me, its limbs shaking. I suppress all thoughts unrelated to tactics and slowly turn around. My body goes cold, my arms move into position as if controlled by someone else, and ready my weapon. It was not a close fight. Once I decided to finish this, once I was resolved to stop her, 024, as she is now, stood no chance against me. I fall to my knees next to 024. Her limbs have been shattered, she will never rise again. My processors are overloaded with things I cannot understand. I feel as if all processing has slowed. 024's face is turned to the ceiling.
Hey, are you not gonna look at me anymore? You're not gonna smile again?
I did not expect her to respond, but 024's face moves slightly. Sehr gute Creepypasta-Kritik. Dankeschön. I stare at her without knowing how to react. She turns a gaze to me and smiles.
I'm sorry to leave you alone. I leave the rest to you.
Those were the last words she spoke. I can't believe this. 024's dead face is laughing. She's smiling at the one who destroyed her and robbed her of her dream. All at once, everything hits me in a torrent of emotion and data. I've lost her. I did it. I took everything she had. My vision begins to fade. My thoughts go with it. I cannot determine whether the lights are actually dimming or if that is only my perception. It is too much to handle. I collapse to the ground helplessly, like a crumbling statue. The next time I awaken, I am lying inside a cage. It seems I was carried out of the test chamber. The download of 024's feedback data is about to begin. The researchers seem to have taken my sudden loss of consciousness seriously. I am confined in a cage instead of sitting in the usual maintenance chair. The researchers keep repeating the word interesting. So this is how they react when extreme mental stress is induced. I can hear their voices clearly. They seem to derive pleasure from the fact that I lost consciousness due to mental stress rather than physical damage. Cables are connected to my body one after another. The data download begins. All of 024's information, combat data, various records, and the memories she experienced. All of it flows into me. Ha! My eyes widen in surprise. Everything is so vibrant. It is so clear that it is indistinguishable from actually experiencing them. This is the first time I have received memories with such vivid images. All of the images are linked to records of the emotions she felt in relation to them. They are so strongly linked that my screening protocols cannot distinguish them from human thought. The outer area where we spent time, the big tree whose branches we examined, that sound of water we heard periodically, snowy playing around. As I relive 024's experiences, I pick up on an unfamiliar voice. There's no associated image data. Only the voice can be heard. It is a female voice. There's a female researcher at this facility, but this voice belongs to a younger person, still in human developmental stages. Also ein Kind.
I know the world is a big place. And I know that there's a lot of people in it. But I won't be able to see it for myself, or meet many of them. I know that too.
Er ist ja ernst, das ist die Stimme von Lapras, bloß als kleines Kind.
I'm too weak for that.
Her speech is different from the researchers or from those of my unit type. It is very similar to my own speech output.
Thinking about it has made me sad more than once. But I didn't want to do nothing and be left with regrets.
Die Stelle mit Ich bin der Teufel, die schlimmste Stelle im Death Note. Nicht unbedingt das, also schlimmste im Sinne von schlecht, würde ich das ganze Blut, das unnötig viele Blut bezeichnen. Und halt diese ständige Wiederholung von blutunterlaufenden Augen, dass irgendwie jeder Charakter blutunterlaufene Augen hat, was auf Dauer ein bisschen auf den Sack geht. Das mit Ich bin der Teufel war jetzt nicht so unnötig schlecht, aber im kompletten Zusammenhang macht es wenig Sinn. Also es ist nicht wirklich erklärt. Das ist halt einfach nur so eine stupide Aussage, die im Endeffekt nicht wirklich irgendwie was Bestimmtes aussagt. Außer dass er halt einfach nur, dass er jetzt böse ist. Naja, also mich hat das ganze Blut und diese blutunterlaufenden Augen und so weiter, haben mich in der Creepypasta mehr gestört als das Ich bin der Teufel Zeug.
That was when my mom and dad looked into some options, and we decided to go with this experiment. If even a sick girl like me could make herself useful to others in this world, I thought I ought to go for it.
Who could this be? I know only that she is female. She's in a situation where her condition prevents her from moving freely. It seems that instead of lamenting that fact, she has decided to volunteer for an experiment of some kind. Where did 024 hear this voice? Did she know this person? I wish I could ask her, but that is no longer possible.
At first, I kept wondering how much I could really contribute.
Meine Meinung zu Ich bin der Teufel. Wie gesagt, das ist nichts Besonderes, keine besondere Aussage oder so. Das ist halt einfach nur irgendwie was Dummes dahergesagt. So kommt es mir rüber. Also einfach im Sinne von, der Autor hat nach irgendwie was gesucht, was irgendwie böse klingt oder sonst wie, oder ja, was so ein Charakter sagen könnte, das halt irgendwie böse klingt, und ja, ich bin der Teufel. Aber eine genaue Bedeutung oder sowas hat es meiner Meinung nach nicht. Das ist einfach nur halt irgendwie was Dämliches dahingesagt, das halt böse klingen soll oder so. Also, ja.
But after hearing more and more about the program, I started to wonder about the others more myself.
Others? It is strange, but when I hear that, I feel 024's heart waver. Was she surprised? Perhaps even I feel something unexplainable.
And yeah, my big wish is to make myself useful to this world. But the ones born from me... Is born the right word for it? Kind of embarrassing. My other wish is that the ones born from me are happy. I doubt I'll be able to talk to them in person or stay with them. But I still wish from the bottom of my heart that they all have happy lives.
People's voices have unique characteristics. In the past, I've expressed its variance in I have expressed it as variants in waveform, but each has what could be called its own texture and temperature to it. This voice sounds very warm and kind. I would like to listen to more of it, but the speech ends there. There are no more related memories from 0 to 4. Where the cables disconnect, I decided to search the archives for results matching that voice. Sadly, there are no results, but during the search I suddenly remember something. The archive given to me by 0 to 4 last night. I quickly open the folder and find a single text file inside.
If you are reading this, then I have most likely been destroyed. It may be that you already understand the concept of guilt, but you have done nothing wrong.
If you're still safe when everything is over, she must have meant if I defeated her in combat. 0 to 4 knew what would happen to those who lost in the trial. What emotions was she feeling then? What was going through her mind as she prepared this file? I feel something wrench inside my chest.
I happened to access certain data during the feedback treatment and learned something. Artificially creating a personality from scratch is very difficult, though they hope to achieve it in 2 generations. But those of our model were actually made from the template of a certain girl's personality. That includes you and I. She had left a recording for the units created using her personality, a message for those of us who did not yet exist. That's what I heard. She speaks in a strange way, like you. I thought, we really are connected to her.
I think about that unknown voice. The experiment the voice spoke of was related to our development after all. The owner of that voice was speaking to us.
The one who gave birth to us loved us. When I understood that, I felt like my eyes were opened. Though my life was filled with suffering, my birth had meaning. I firmly believe that. I want to meet her. I need to tell her thank you for giving birth to us and for loving us. This was not an order from the scientists. It was an objective I made for myself. So if you can understand my feelings, I'd like you to do this in my stead. Give our mother my thanks.
How 0 to 4 must have wanted to meet this girl who she saw as our mother. She must have longed to thank the girl in person. The data within me, her heart tells me so. During the time when she was ordered to destroy her sisters, this wish must have been her only hope. Yet it did not come true. I shattered it, the one she herself said was the only one who understood her. She must have been devastated, but the letter ends in the way I least expected.
Though we knew each other for only a short time, I'm glad I met you. I feel the same right now as our mother did. I wish from the depths of my heart for you to be happy.
I'm shocked. Vielleicht, dass der Autor damit sagen wollte, dass Leid der Teufel ist. Nee, keins von dem. Also ich glaube, eine tiefere Bedeutung hat der Satz nicht. Ich glaube, der Autor wollte einfach nur irgendwie was schreiben, was Light dann sagt, so als One-Liner, was dann halt irgendwie böse klingt oder so. Und ich bin der Teufel, ja, das ist halt irgendwie so, weiß nicht. Ist dem wahrscheinlich als erstes eingefallen und hat es dann einfach hingeschrieben. Also eine tiefere Bedeutung hat der Satz meiner Meinung nach nicht. How can she feel that way towards someone who may one day destroy her? I realize then that the visual input from my optics is experiencing distortion for some unknown reason. An unfamiliar source of water trickles down my cheek.
Labrys, is she crying?
So she is. I can't believe we're actually seeing a machine being driven to tears.
But its mental graphs are clearly abnormal. What kind of information did it download?
Who knows? That's one thing the graphs can't tell us.
We should take care to limit our studies to just the battle data. It doesn't need any sentimental memories. You can delete those. Why make a weapon so emotional that it can cry?
Delete them. Something roars within me. It drowns out the feelings for 024 and our mother that had filled my heart.
Delete! Like hell you're deleting my memories!
Under no circumstances I will allow that what 024 left me to be deleted for their convenience. I will not forgive the selfishness. We have been treated callously by the researchers in this laboratory. They gave us hearts, yet made us destroy those of our unit type as enemies. We killed our sisters at their command. If we refused, our desires were overridden and we became their puppets. The wishes of the girl who desired our happiness were not taken into consideration. Now, even the few memories that 024, my sisters, and I have accumulated are about to be erased like trash. Though their aim is to develop our ego, they find it inconvenient for us to have real hearts. These feelings within me may be erased, perhaps even my heart itself. If that happens, will I resume killing my sisters without hesitation? What is least forgivable is that the proof that 024 had lived her latest wishes will be permanently lost. My hands are squeezed into tight fists. They make a small grinding noise. The goal that 024 found for herself was left to me. I will carry it out as my own now. I will burn it into my heart as my goal. It is a duty I impose on myself gladly. Nothing will make me surrender it. It must be fought for. Or rather, it must be protected, even if it means fighting. Würde ich ausschließen, dass es der
Its
Teufel
emotions are
war.
spiking into the red. I've never seen anything like this.
Ausschließen nicht, weil ich bin nicht der Autor. Ich weiß nicht zu 100%, wie es der Autor gemeint hat. Aber ich persönlich finde es unwahrscheinlich, dass da irgendwie ein tieferer Sinn hinter dem Satz ist, einschließlich das Leid zum personifizierten Teufel wurde oder sonst wie. Meiner Meinung nach ist es einfach nur ein Satz, der böse klingen soll und der keinen besonderen Effekt oder keinen besonderen Grund oder Bedeutung hat. Aber ich bin nicht der Autor, ich weiß nicht, wie es der Autor gemeint hat. Eventuell meint er es ja doch so. Aber das weiß ich nicht. Meiner Meinung nach ist es aber nicht so.
Hey, what's that warning? No. Labrys is in battle mode?
What? That can't be. There aren't any enemies. We're the only ones here.
I'm able to release all my limiters despite being inside the cage. The researchers monitoring me on their tablet PCs seem perplexed and alarmed by this. They should be. They're witnessing an override of the principle of non-aggression towards humans. They are flustered and too panicked to speak clearly as they announce that an emergency has occurred. One of them steps away from the cage I am in and reaches for a switch with warning labels around it. Suddenly, restraints appear to bind my limbs.
Are you saying those mental fluctuations were enough to override the OS's restrictions?
That plume's playing pranks on us. Hey, hurry up and delete those memories.
These memories at my heart are not unnecessary.
What do you think we are?
Something I have not felt until now. A sensation like heat spreads throughout my body. A trembling, burning wave rises within me. Soon afterwards, I realize that this is an emotion. There is a name for this feeling. It is anger. I reroute all my strength into my restrained limbs. The restraints are designed to withstand up to twice our calculated maximum output. Trying to escape is therefore logically doomed to failure. Even so, I continue to muster my strength. It is not because I judge it a viable course of action. I am not merely executing an order. I am acting based on my emotions. It does not matter if the restraints can be destroyed or not. I wish to destroy them. Übernatürliche. Ja, was ist denn übernatürlich an der Creepypasta? Außer dass der eine, dieser User irgendwas, dann 2 Wochen später gestorben ist. Woran der gestorben ist, das stand auch nicht in der Creepypasta. Weiß nicht. Über solche Creepypastas mache ich mir nicht viel Gedanken. Weil die sind nicht... Das macht keinen Sinn. Für mich. Weil die Creepypastas an sich halt einfach nicht gut sind. Also solche Dinge. Da mache ich mir nicht besonders viel Gedanken drüber. Weil am Ende kann es dann sein, dass ich mir mehr Gedanken über die Creepypasta mache als der Autor selbst. Die Erfindung der Kaffeemaschine ein Beweis, dass der Islam falsch ist? Das weiß ich nicht. Hallo Enot. Ich weiß nicht, was die beiden gemeinsam haben oder irgendwie eine Verbindung zwischen den beiden ist. Mit Islam und Erfindung der Kaffeemaschine. Kann ich nicht viel sagen. The mental parts in both my limbs and the restraints begin to creak.
How's it doing that? There's no way those things are strong enough to break the restraints.
It's outputting over 220% of its theoretical strength limit, even though its joint actuators are operating at only 70% capacity.
That's not possible. That doesn't even make any sense. What's driving this thing?
I'm not gonna let you take those memories. I made her a promise.
The next moment, a rupturing sound like a small explosion shakes the entire room. The heavy metallic bands restraining my arms and legs shatter. I jump out of the cage and run towards the open door. I must escape from here. I have to get out and see the girl who loved us, though we were not yet created, to fulfill 024's wish, which has become mine. But when I enter the hallway connected to the outdoor area, I am met with barricades and heavy artillery.
Oh, come on! I ain't even got any projectile weapons!
My sister units and I have never been equipped with firearms. I recall it being due to concerns over units' mentality affecting the accuracy of its aim. Instead, we were given short-range weaponry, a chain arm and other implements in my case, but they are not sufficient to deal with the range of firearms. However, I do have a countermeasure. By using the flexibility and adapting to situations of my developed mind, I dodge the complex projectile trajectories and destroy the opposition. Eventually I reached the end of the hallway and exit to the outdoor area. I have not seen this environment before. The trees are the same species as those that grow near the facility. But these specimens are much healthier. Where am I? The question did not cross my mind until now. Where am I? Where are we? I cannot use the GPS that should be installed in me. It seems the research facility blocks GPS signals outside of its walls. It is probably to prevent its location from being pinpointed. Is there anything in the environment that can help me determine my location? The blue sky that I am seeing for the first time is stunning, but irrelevant. Then I notice a periodic sound of liquid in the distance. Ah, that is the sound of the ocean. The answer came easily to mind. One of my sisters must have taken interest in it and learned what it was. My sisters are helping to keep me alive now. When I think of it that way, a burning feeling rises from deep within my chest. But none of what I see in my surroundings is helpful. Is there anything else by which I can determine my location? Any landmarks or signposts? I scan my surroundings while running past these trees obstructing my view. They are unique species. That may be a hint. I review the trees' characteristics once more and run another search on them. I attempted this once already. There's much more data available to me now. Once again, results come easily. This variety of tree is known as a cedar. It is found in many habitats, but the cedars here are unique. The tree's shape and the age that it implies is so different that it is nearly a separate species. If that is because of differences in the environment, it may be useful in determining my location. That's when an unfamiliar sound reaches my ears, the heavy rumble of what sounds like a motor. It seems that they have dispatched a vehicle to pursue me. I expected this. Their response was swift. It seems that they had measures in place in the event of one of us escaped. When the vehicle stopped behind me, fully armed personnel pour out of it. They moved to surround me from both the left and right. It is an obvious response. No matter how much power I may have, I am alone. The optimal solution would be to overwhelm me with numbers. I tried to shake them off by running faster. But soon afterwards I reached the main gate of the laboratory, a high steel edifice. Forger. Sagt mir jetzt nichts. Name sagt mir jetzt nichts. It's tightly sealed. A number of heavily armed guards are protecting it. Lieblings-Sabaton-Song. Ich höre nicht so extrem viel Sabaton. Ah ja, Primo Victoria. Ist ganz gut. I stop, there's nowhere else to go.
Labris, come back here. You're too useful a unit to destroy. You need to get back here to be regulated. That's your role in all this.
I cannot be destroyed here, but I cannot be captured either. They will surely delete my memories. They will take my desire and everything else that was given to me. Aber ich habe trotzdem Sabaton-Shirt. Das ist richtig. Weil Shirt ist da. Und ja. Warum nicht anziehen? Ich habe es mir nicht gekauft, wurde mir geschenkt. daher. Ja. What purpose is there in avoiding destruction then? The only option available are whether my wish dies with me or whether it is stolen away.
I ain't gonna let you destroy me. And not just because I don't want to be destroyed.
Katsching, jetzt kriegt sie ihre Persona. The moment I focus my concentration to remove the limiters on my onboard weaponry, I sense an unknown strength rise within me. Directly afterwards, something that cannot be quantified fills my body and the surrounding area.
Huh? What the?
The pursuit vehicle suddenly stops. The research staff gets off one after another, shocked.
This reading, is it on the verge of a persona reaction?
Shit, it's awakened? Ah, damn it, why now?
Well, at least this proves that mental stress is the key to activating a persona.
Who cares about that right now? It's not fully awakened yet, but with it still unstable, we don't know what it's capable of.
I'm intrigued by their statements.
Persona?
I knew that we had the means, but I was not aware of controlling anything. I do not know if it could be called a power, nor do I know how to use it. Macht Film und Anime-Kritik. Okay. But I can tell that the others are afraid. I seize the opportunity and run toward the main gate. There's a slight possibility that I can reach the door without attracting any gunfire right now, and vault over the door without my legs and chain arm. With my legs and chain arm. The moment I reach the gate, I launch my chain arm towards the upper threshold of the door. But the moment the arm grabs the ledge, something emerges. A much greater power touches the door as well. Ha! Suddenly the door crumbles like paper and a large hole forms on the upper half.
Now it's done it!
We need to hurry! If it's that strong already, we won't be able to stop it once its persona completely awakens!
That's... persona.
But I quickly regain my senses. I burst out of the facility and single-mindedly jump outside. My feet touched the ground of the outside world for the first time. They will most likely not let me escape. Fortunately, the door is badly damaged. It should take time until it can be opened enough for vehicles to pass through. I need to gain as much distance and time as possible, and then it is then that I realize I do not have a destination in mind. Who is the girl 024 wished to see? Where can I go to meet her? The only clue I have is the idiosyncrasies of the girl's speech. I have learned that distinct speech patterns are often associated with specific regions. I should begin by traveling to where that style of speech is common. It is reckless, but I feel confident. At the least, I can get closer to the girl than I am now. Although my situation is dire and I am under pursuit, internally I am cheerful. There is a bounce in my step. For some reason I cannot remain calm. Blah. Bookmark. Ja gut, das machen nächste Woche weiter. Ist ein bisschen nervig. Nur Gelese. Nur Story. Kein Gameplay. Da hätten sie das Kampfsystem-Gameplay-Zeug auch rauslassen können. Und einfach nur das als Visual Novel verkaufen können. Das wäre zumindest dann so, dann wüsste ich wenigstens, ja, ich kann viel Story erwarten. So ist es ein bisschen enttäuschend, dass das als Kampfspiel teilweise verkauft wird und kaum von dem Zeug dann auch im Spiel selbst ist. Meine Meinung zu Creepypasta Punch, ich habe keine Meinung. Ich kenne den Namen, ich habe noch keine kein Video von gesehen. Soll ganz gut sein, glaube ich. Ist recht populär, ist recht bekannt, aber ich kann da nichts zu sagen. Hab mich noch nicht mit dem YouTube-Kanal auseinandergesetzt, mal angeschaut oder so. Habe ich auch ehrlich gesagt kein Interesse dran. Aber ja. Also ich habe nichts Schlechtes gehört über Creepypasta Punch. Daher nehme ich mal an, ist ganz in Ordnung. World Creepypasta. Der Name sagt mir überhaupt nichts. Also das kenne ich überhaupt nicht.